The problem, the reason we had so much trouble predicting this is that we got too scientific, and everything had to be based on data.
Or not scientific enough.
Well, it's a question of what is scientific. And to me, I think academics and lots of people misunderstand what science is all about. Maybe you want to take off on
I'm a scientist. Sorry?
Economics even science?
No, they think so.
No.
It is in many ways.
No. Ask a scientist if economics is a science, and they tell you that economics makes astrology look excellent, all right? Because science as defined by predictive ability.
Tougher than I am.
No. I mean, I like hard science, and physics has done very well predicting phenomena to the 10th decimal precision. Economists don't predict better than cab drivers. Typically a little worse often. Okay?
I'm going to be defending our profession here.
So except, of course, for my friend Bob Shiller, who's now famous because he's the only one who predicted the housing crisis, and my friend Nouriel, who predicted the credit collapse. But you have a severe problem with economics, that we built a society that unfortunately has to depend on incompetent people. Okay, that they are incompetent. We don't have to make the point that they're incompetent. Collectively incompetent, they are. Okay, they're pretty much like medicine in the 19th century. Going to a doctor increases your chance of death. Okay, so you have an expert problem, and of course, what we have today, the medicine today that we have today, doesn't come from the top-down academic medicine. It comes from the barbers and surgeons. So we have here an expert problem, a classical expert problem, and we depend too much on economists. And my proposals were to have, from years ago, now people are starting to listen to me, a society in which economists can be as incompetent as they want without it affecting you, myself, and even Bob Shiller, all right? So this is what you want. You want a society where you don't have too big to fail, where you don't rely on forecasts, something more organically organized along the laws of nature. Now, as a scientist, I've started now a systematic process of trying to take the assumptions that economists make. The first one with the black swan, I showed the statistical method they use work a lot worse than the statistical method a cab driver would use, all right? The naive statistic he would use, all right? The bell curve and all that stuff on all these metrics and econometrics. That I showed in the black swan. Now we're going next and showing that everything is based on, when you did your PhD, you did optimization, no? Now, Mother Nature doesn't optimize. Something gets fragile from optimization. So they have all these dogmas that one country should specialize in wine, the other one should specialize in cloth, and so on. It doesn't work that way because Mother Nature likes things to be redundant and likes diversity and likes, even within an organism, a huge amount of diversity. It's the exact opposite. The biologist knows the Edelman and Galli result that shows that maximum redundancy is a lot better. Look, you have two lungs. I'm sure you do. Even at New Yorker, you have two lungs, no? Yeah. Two kidneys and stuff. So you have a lot of redundancy.
Two kidneys.
An economist would remove one of your lungs. If you had to design a human, they would design a human who wouldn't survive because they'd remove one of your lungs. They say, well, it's too heavy and so on. It's not efficient. Right. All right? One of your kidneys, right. Most of your spare parts, okay? Yeah. Things that you have only in one, I hope they would keep, okay? but they, like your brain and other organs.
Two of everything, yeah.
But you're
Well, not
so you'd have, yeah. So so the whole paradigm is messed up empirically and theoretically. So let's not call economics a science, please. All right.
And then you call me too big to fail.
It's not that bad. If you got a point, it's not that bad.
Economist.
I once served on the NSF panel for economics, and we evaluated all the proposals that were coming in, research proposals. And I was in a bad mood. I was feeling like you. But when I read all the panel proposals, I thought, there are a lot of interesting things going on. So, in the profession, and you have I'm in between you two, right? I'm in the middle road here.
Yeah, but
you have a criticism that's valid. They do go off track in academia and in other departments, but there's something solid going on too.
Bob, you said something to me in 2004. We were in Barcelona, like now. All right, you were sitting to my left, and you said, I agree with the person to your left. I agree with Nassim. Nassim, you have to understand, there's got to be a middle way, all right? And my reaction to you, I told you, I'm not saying crazy things. The world is crazy. It delivered extreme events. Mm-hmm. That was 2004. Do you still think the same? Think extreme. Well, the world has been delivering, okay?
See,
for the past 2,000 years, extreme events.
So you made some very important...
So having an extreme point of view is not incompatible with the texture of the world. So you have to make sure, okay, crazy things happen. You've got to be immune to crazy things, all right? So removing economists from the planet would improve the planet, okay? So it's not a crazy proposal. The world is crazy. Look what they drove us into, and how many people. I mean, look at Greenspan, Bernanke. All these methods they use, linear regression, okay, don't work. So it's not that my point is extreme. The world is extreme, and this is outrageous. In 100 years, people will blame me. Like now, already people are blaming me for being too soft on economists.
But I don't think. I mean, are we saying that economists are the only problem here? I mean. In a way,
you know, it's both Malcolm Gladwell with his Outliers book and you with your Black Swan book have made a very important point that the so-called normal distribution is an academic conceit. It's not very reliable.